I feel like this is just a great thing to think about before diving in. If you truly think this is going to be an area where you invest a few hours up front to get some art up and sit back and watch money roll in, that's not going to happen, and you should adjust your expectations. Let me get cozy here in my squeaky chair. I'm just catching my lips in the viewfinder. I tried to overline them today. No, but it's too late to wipe them off now. Whatever, we're just gonna go with it. I don't have any of my thoughts organized out for today's video. If I was a good content creator, I would. But I wanted to keep this quick and casual and just discuss my thoughts about passive income. And what do I think of that term? First of all, let me introduce myself. If you've never met me, my name is Brittany, and on my channel, I like to make tutorials about, it's a very niche topic, how to make digital art to sell online. In the past, on my own channel, I've referred to this as a way to make passive income. And having been an Etsy seller in that realm for more than 2 years now, I'm having a problem with the term passive income. Because if you've truly done it for that long, or even for a few months for that matter, you would know there is no such thing as passive income. Now that might ruffle some feathers, me saying that, because, you know, this is why I started this out too. Like when I heard the term passive income, it sounded great. It sounds like what it sounds like. You get to sit back once you set up your shop and you don't have to do anything and money will roll in. But that's just not the way it is. And I felt the need to talk about it in this video today because the false pretense of this narrative is getting out of control. I believe this idea of passive income, particularly in the digital art space, it can be passive in the fact that you only have to create your product once and you just let it sit there and it will sell itself. However, the whole concept of being a digital art seller, it's not passive at all. You have to put work into it every day. And the work just to create listings alone takes a lot of time. For instance, I timed myself and I made a new listing the other day, and I'll just outline all the steps I had to go through to create one art listing on my Etsy shop. Number one, I had to make the art. Most of my art I do try to make from scratch. I know you can make it from canned graphic elements from like Canva or whatnot. So I made the art myself. That took about an hour and a half. I had to convert it to digital format and get all my files formatted correctly with the right resolution, the right aspect ratios. I then had to do market research to see what similar products were selling on Etsy, what keywords they use, and set up my listing. Then I had to create the mock-up photos. Then I had to create a video because Etsy wants you to have videos now for your listings. Then I had to create some pins to market my product on Pinterest. All of that for one listing took about 2.5 hours. And I'm pretty fast at it at this point. Now I can think at this point, okay, 2.5 hours done, it's up there, I don't have to worry about it. It's passive income now, it will sell itself. But that's just not the case. It's not true at all. To be successful in this area, you have to treat it at least like a part-time job, if not a full-time job. There is a reason also why I don't make videos on my channel about tips for selling, for marketing, for making those sales, for SEO techniques. There's a reason I don't do that. It's because I haven't figured it out yet. It's very difficult. And I would say I'm one of the more lucky sellers. I have over 1,000 sales now, but that was over the course of 2 years. Yeah, it's just, there's nothing passive about this field. And I feel like that could apply for any passive income territory. That could apply for drop shipping. You'd have to constantly be coming up with marketing techniques, getting your product out there, working with content creators to advertise your product for you. Like, it's just never ending work. There's no such thing as passive income in the concepts that you can set up a shop and literally just sit back and never touch it again and make full-time income. That's not a thing, that's not possible. You cannot do that. I think the false pretense of that truly existing is getting out of control, and I just felt the need to make this video to discuss that, to just kind of give people a reality check if they are thinking that is true. It's just not true, it's not possible. Unless I'm wrong about an industry where you can do that, and let me know, I'm curious to know. Just put a comment below what industry that might be. But yeah, like I said, as a person that's been selling on Etsy for over 2 years now, it's just not possible. Etsy prioritizes shops based on, like, they want you to be actively putting listings in your shop every day. They don't want to see a shop that's just sitting there doing nothing. They want to see you actively putting listings up. I can tell you anecdotally from my experience, Etsy does not want to promote shops that just sit there. They want to promote shops that are exhibiting activity that demonstrates that they're actively like promoting their shop, changing their shop, adding listings, like every day working on it, making it a better and better shop. They don't want to promote shops that just sit there and do nothing. That's not what they want to do. And I can tell you that's a fact, because when I started my Etsy shop, I was actively working on it every day and I was making really good sales at the start. Like it just took off for me from the start. I didn't have any problems making my first sales. And then I went through a pretty bad health crisis. If you're curious what happened to me, I'll put my story in the top right. Basically COVID tried to kill me. So I went through a period in my shop where I literally did not touch it, i.e. it was passive income. I didn't have to do anything to it, right? And I still got all that money coming in? No, that's not correct at all. When I was sick and I was not sitting on my shop every day, being actively enhancing it and whatnot, putting up listings every day, communicating with customers, when I was sick and not doing anything, my sales tanked. There were a few months there that I didn't make any sales. Yeah, that just exhibits the truth that there's no such thing as passive income. You constantly have to be working on your shop. I'm on a few Facebook groups as well where they talk about this, and you can make a full-time income selling art on Etsy, but you have to treat it like a full-time job. You have to be actively working on your shop every single day with full-time hours. And they talk about that on those groups all the time. There really is no such thing as passive income. And I feel like this is just a great thing to think about before diving in. If you truly think this is going to be an area where you invest a few hours up front to get some art up and sit back and watch money roll in, that's not going to happen, and you should adjust your expectations. And I don't mean that in a rude way, just more like a reality check way. That's how it's going to be. Now, as far as my channel goes, I enjoy making the content that I do because there are genuine artists out there that want to know how to sell their art digitally, just simply for the fact that they don't want to deal with the logistics and the shipping and the handling alone. They don't want to deal with shipping their product out. That's annoying. So I still enjoy making tutorials just to teach artists how to do that. I think it's really cool that we can sit from our computer and sell our art and we don't have to ship anything. I think that's really cool. And I consider myself almost like high intermediate to almost expert at this point about it. I had to teach myself from the ground up everything about graphic design and making sure your digital files are optimized for printing and whatnot. I had to teach that all myself. So I love the fact that I get to give back to the community and teach that to fellow artists as well. So they don't have to struggle as much as I did. I guess I want to explain that because it can come off confusing that I'm making tutorials about passive income, when in reality, I more see it as like, now this late in the game in this journey of mine, I see it more as like teaching artists how to sell art. That's how I see it. I don't consider myself a passive income tutor. At this point in the game, I don't consider it passive income. I may have referred to it as passive income in the past on some of my videos, but I think it was in the past week just now, I just kind of hit a roadblock where I was like, you know, it's truly not passive income. You have to work on this all the time. And yeah, I just decided to sit and chat about my thoughts on this topic today. That was very chaotic, I feel like, but I didn't have a lot of time. I just wanted to sit and get my thoughts out. So if you have anything to contribute to this topic, I am very curious to hear it. So go ahead and drop a comment below with your thoughts on this topic as well. And if you enjoyed this video or if you want to check out my other content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe wherever you can. I also like to pursue other creative avenues on my channel as well, like sewing and DIY house renovation stuff lately. So if you want to check out any of that, make sure to subscribe. And if you want to be notified when I do upload videos in the future, you can hit the bell and you'll be notified on your device when I do upload. So I think that's it for my thoughts on this. Sorry if I ruffled too many feathers. I think some people won't want to hear what I had to say on that, but I think it's the truth and I think it should be talked about because, like I said, I think the false pretense of that narrative is getting a little bit out of control. And with all that being said, I will see you guys with the next video. Bye!